Hello, my name is Grant from Running to Redline. This is a 2014 Subaru BRZ, and that is a really messy garage. Anyways, one of the biggest problems on these cars is the flexion that occurs in the master cylinder of the braking system. It causes a lot of energy loss, which translates to less longevity and performance out of your brakes. This is caused by the thin firewall that Subaru decided to use in between the cabin and the engine bay. This thin firewall means that any time that you apply a lot of force into your brakes, usually when you're on track, the entire unit kind of flexes. So this entire master cylinder, this entire servo, all of it will flex forward. And this is obviously not good for the health and performance of your brakes. So today, we have a $25 solution from eBay that is going to be solving that. There's plenty of these master cylinder braces out there for near $100, but I promise you none of those are worth it. This is steel. It's going to be able to withstand that amount of force with no problem. So if you find one out there that is cheap and it's made of steel, then don't spend the extra money. This is going to solve the problem just fine, and today I'm going to be showing you how to install it. So tools needed. You need a 12mm socket, a 10mm wrench, a socket wrench, a 4mm Allen key, a 12mm wrench, and a subscription to my YouTube channel. We're almost at 1 million. As you can see, you could be number 6 today. Alright, so step 1, you're going to be removing this brace that is in the driver's side of the engine bay. It is literally 4 screws. You're just going to use your 12mm socket and your socket wrench to uninstall all 4 of them like so. And then by the time they're all out, you can set the bar aside. Now we move to kind of this middle area back here. I'm going to give you an idea exactly where the screw is with this mobile camera. It is that 10mm bolt right there next to the shock on the driver's side, right in front of the master cylinder. You're going to need your 10mm wrench, and this bolt is a bit of a pain, I'm not going to lie. Because of the position of it, you can only get about a quarter turn at a time. You can see my 10mm wrench there, but you just have to kind of be patient with it, and you'll see here when I speed this up, I took a ton of turns to actually get it out, but you eventually reach a point where you can get it out with your hands, and then that will be freed up. Now, as we look at it from the passenger side, you can see there's these 2 black stickers that cover the side right where the shock is. We're going to be removing it to reveal a threaded hole that actually exists underneath it. The reason those stickers are there is to keep any kind of dirt, water, or anything that shouldn't be in there out. That's why we're going to be leaving the one closer to the front of the car on. As you can see, I'm tacking that back down. That way no dirt or anything gets into that hole, because we're only going to be using the one that is closest to the master cylinder. Now, this is the longest and most important step. You're going to take your brace and tighten that first nut down so that it is as short as possible. That way we don't have to worry about it right now. It's not interfering or pressing up against the master cylinder just yet. And you're going to take the 2 bolts included with it and the 4mm Allen key, and you're going to try and line it up right on there. It literally fits right into place. Like, you can't miss the alignment. And you just kind of put that in there, and I would recommend doing the bolt closer to the master cylinder first. I found that kind of provided it more stability and was the easier bolt. You got to take the long side of the Allen key, push it down in there, and then get it pretty snug. Don't over tighten it just yet, but pretty snug should do the trick. Then you pretty much throw in the bolt on the other side. This one was much tighter though, so the problem with this is, you'll see here, I can only get about a quarter turn at a time because you have to use the short end of the Allen wrench, and it barely fits in between the brace and the fuel lines. But yep, you're just going to have to do that little quarter turn you're seeing right now. You're just going to have to do that over and over again until it is snug, and then go back and snug both of those bolts down. And now that the brace is attached to the side of the car, basically right now we're just going to take that and take the green bolt and tighten it into the master cylinder. Now, if you're thinking about how it's going into the master cylinder, you're actually loosening it. You're just driving it into that piston right there. I was using an adjustable wrench. You can use the 12mm wrench here. It's probably the better option. I just didn't feel like grabbing one, so I got my adjustable. But you're tightening that into the master cylinder. Give it about 1 crank past when it is snug. That way it's providing some back pressure on the piston. And then kind of hand tighten this other bolt down and crank it down the opposite direction, and that is going to lock the green bolt into place and hold that pressure onto that piston. After that, pretty much just put this brace back on in the same fashion that you took it off, and that concludes this installation. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and thank you for watching.